Cosby's fate in the hands of the jury this morning after the defense rested their case, calling just one witness before launching a dramatic closing argument. Our Lindsay Davis is outside the courthouse in Pennsylvania. Good morning, Lindsay.
Good morning, Robin. Dramatic indeed. Bill Cosby's lead attorney is a master showman. During closing arguments, he pounded the table, he pointed his finger, he shouted, he whispered. But will it all be enough to keep Bill Cosby out of prison? The jury deliberated for 4 hours last night. So far, they've asked 2 questions, both of them prosecution friendly. This morning, Bill Cosby's fate is in the hands of a jury. The iconic comedian opted not to take the witness stand in his own defense. The defense called only one witness to testify, a police detective, before quickly resting its case after just 6 minutes.
Mrs. Cosby, what would you like people to know about your husband?
Monday morning, Camille Cosby, the wife of the man once revered as America's dad, appeared inside the courtroom for the first time during the trial, showing the same calm demeanor as when she escorted him in, head up with a demure smile.
She came in holding his hand. You got to see her. It wasn't a show. It was real. It was real love. 53 years that they have been together. And she was here to show that I'm not going to stand for this. I stand by my husband.
Mrs. Cosby sat in the front row, showing no emotion while the defense gave a blustery closing argument, painting her husband as an adulterer, but not a criminal. At one point, her husband's lawyer gestured at Mrs. Cosby, shouting she deserved better. Across the courtroom, Andrea Constand sat composed and calm. She's the woman at the heart of this trial who accuses Cosby of drugging and sexually assaulting her in 2004. Then the prosecutor told jurors Cosby's own words incriminate him, referring to a deposition from 2005 where he admitted to obtaining quaaludes prior to sexual encounters with women. The DA attempted to explain away any inconsistencies in Constand's statements by saying she spent more time trying to forget what happened rather than trying to remember. Deliberations continue this morning. The jury is now asking to see excerpts from Cosby's 2005 deposition. If convicted, Cosby would have to register as a sex offender, and the DA's office is already saying that they would ask for him to be put behind bars immediately, even prior to sentencing. Robin.
Lindsay, thank you. We're going to bring in veteran trial lawyer Mark Garagos. Mark, always good to spend some time with you and get your perspective because you've been involved in a lot of cases like this. When do you expect that we will hear back from the jury, and what do you expect that we'll hear?
Well, I would think already that the questions that they're asking and the fact they've been out for more than 4 hours indicates that at least there is a split or that they're going through the evidence in a very deliberative manner. Generally, in a case where the defense does not put on a defense, and in effect that's what happened here, they basically tried the case within the prosecution's case. There used to be a saying that it's a rare case that gets better for the defense after the prosecution rests, and this case is exactly that. You can already see that the jurors are talking about what did he say, and that's almost always the case in a criminal case. It doesn't matter what the prosecution's case is, they always want to know what did the defendant say.
A hung jury possibility here?
I think it's entirely possible that there's a hung jury here. I think that given the age of the accusations, given the political overtones of the filing of the case, which I think everybody is aware of, and the makeup and the composition of the jury, I think that if you were to do a bell curve of results here, that the great majority would fall within the idea that there could be a hung jury, which is just as legitimate as a guilty or a not guilty. I mean, there's nothing that, I suppose it's unsatisfying to people, but a hung jury is just as legitimate.
Mark, you mentioned the defense's strategy, only calling one witness, lasting 6 minutes, not putting Cosby on the stand. You agree with that?
Yes, absolutely. I didn't think that I know there was speculation last week that he would be put on the stand. I didn't think there's any chance whatsoever that they would put him on the stand. Once you have that deposition, once that was entered into evidence, there was no chance that any real trial lawyer was going to put the client on the stand at that point, because that's just going to, it can only be downside. There's no reward in that situation, especially somebody at his age and given the amount of time and all of the problems that could be brought up by a cross-examination of him. and potentially leading to other accusers being admitted as rebuttal evidence. So there was no chance he was ever going to take the stand in this case.
Yeah, a lot of people felt that way. Again, Mark, always good to get your perspective. Thanks so much. We'll see what happens.
Good to see you, Robin.
All right, take care.